welcome to the FriendlyJordies Podcast. We've been talking about our nuts, and we shall continue to talk about our nuts.
No. I think we've exhausted that.
We've explored that enough. Now we're going to go on to why there were so many negative comments about our last Up Late podcast.
Yes.
Maybe do you want me to read them?
Yes.
Read them out, but also because maybe you can decipher some clues in that. But just remember, if you like this, then you're going to love the Up Late podcast. And this will determine that as a verifiable fact. Go on, Ali.
Yep, agreed.
Because I haven't heard the podcast, so I don't know what these are. Chase says the only comedian willing to do a shit on a podcast for the audience to hear. 0.5 stars from me.
Well, that wasn't negative. How do you get higher?
Keep going.
Shit, Jordan, you took a shit while on the podcast. Oh my god.
It was amazing.
What other podcast would have a host take a shit while recording?
Fuck.
Ali,
I
think we've figured out the formula to comedy. Just take a shit.
So good.
DJ PKD says, I've paid 3 months for this and you haven't delivered once on the topics you said you blokes would talk about. But I wouldn't have it any other way.
It has to be the single most offensive thing you can do. And it's universally recognized as that. On North Sentinel Island, when there are strangers coming near the shoreline, those extremely hostile people, as an indicator that you shouldn't go onto the island, spread their butt cheeks and pull out a snaky in front of the people. And I thank you so much for our very loyal audience. Literally, that was the entire pod. Me doing a shit and then Miss Love and I unable to breathe for the next hour.
Yeah, it was fucking. I literally had to fucking take my earplugs out and like look away. I just couldn't handle the moment. It was like the Titanic. I could watch up until the ship hit the iceberg. I had to look away when it collided. And then, dude, when I came back post collision to the iceberg, Jordan was laughing so hard that the tears were streaming down his face. Streaming. And then remember your ribs started hurting? You're like, my ribs. Oh, my ribs. Oh.
It was too much.
It was so good. And Ali, it wasn't
a few moments in your life, Ali, that you can determine as too funny.
Yeah.
You know when those happen?
Well, it clearly resonated with some people because Gus said, I know you probably won't see this, but you lot actually know what a sense of humor is. And I can honestly say I would love to grab a beer worth the pair of you and chat shit. Ali is beautiful. I've learned a lot from him. Anyway, keep being cunting disastrous.
Oh, I want to get
that.
They're
not wrong. He's right. That was our Titanic. You're exactly right, Miss Love.
Yeah.
It was hitting the iceberg, wasn't it?
and the wiping. Fuck. Sorry.
And the last comment that I'll read is by Ryan. Not my proudest fap.
Oh, not my proudest fap. That's fucking gold. That is gold.
Look, right. Ali, just on that note, because I told Tu that I did that, and again, streams of tears.
Really?
As she was belting me.
Are you serious?
So I got the double whammy. And I just got to ask both of you, is there a funnier skit in Jackass than that fat guy shitting into a funnel that is linked to Steve-O's
Dude, it's disturbing.
He was supposed to fart, but he took a shit.
Dude, it's so disturbing.
And I love how quickly he put it on his butt. He was so eager to shit in it.
just to get the job done.
Because obviously, you're not the one smelling that shit. Of course, you'd be willing to do it.
So fucked.
Every element of that made it more disturbing. And one of the unsung parts of it is that Steve-O's voice is so raspy.
Yeah, it is.
The introduction of, "Hi, I'm Steve-O, and this is the fart helmet."
So good. I mean, it was great. It was so impromptu. Like Jordan was just like, I gotta take shit. And I was like, you gotta wait. I'm like, we haven't got any segments. Should we do it live? And you're like, no. And I'm like, no. Actually, no, let's not do it. It's like, I'm doing it. It was just this boom. Quick.
You know what was incredible as well? We were talking about what are the elements of humor. And I was saying that is the element of humor. And hypothesis proved.
Dude, it was yeah, you're right. It was just peak humor. It was like,
so pretty much, if you want to pay $3 for the rest of your life just to hear me do a shit, you can. That is now possible.
Exactly.
Panthera.
What are you talking about? No Panthera there.
We want them to clip this because I just think it'd be funny if it got out that Jordan takes shit.
Me too.
Hey, can someone go on Cam Wilson's feed and ask him how come you've been fired from every outlet you've ever taken a job from?
Jesus. Who is this person?
You don't really need to know, because if you just picture anyone who has ever been hired by BuzzFeed, you'll know exactly what he looks like.
Dang. Say no more. But what is he work for BuzzFeed?
He used to work for a lot of places. Now he works for where everyone else who's a complete reject of the journalism industry works. Crikey. He's found his people.
Oh, crikey.
They'll expediently get rid of him because he's not pulling in revenue like he hasn't in every other job he's had.
Oh, man.
Is Junkie bigger or Crikey in terms of revenue?
Junkie.
Well, Junkie, isn't this such a strange business model? It is owned by an advertising agency.
Yeah.
That in itself should be a red flag.
Yeah.
Why the hell would you trust anything from that source? First point. Second point, if you look at its Facebook feed, there's many articles that it puts up that get literally one like. So maybe, possibly, the person that wrote it likes that article. No one else on planet Earth does.
Oh, God, that's so bleak.
And yet somehow it reports year on year record profits. And it is because that advertising agency just comes up with a bunch of bullshit figures saying, Junkie, we have this massive reach. And I think it's just because they're counting that they put in all of their advertising slides at universities. They'll just put up something like 18 to 25-year-olds. This is how you start saving for a house. And that's how they would count that, I suppose, as viewership of, okay, well, that's at the cafeteria. There's 40,000 people that are at this university. Yeah, that's 40,000 people that read Junkie. I swear that's what they're doing.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Can
I drop something funny, though, that I found quite hilarious? Like, I think I sort of knew this when it happened, but... Did you know, Ali, that I in a band I used to play in, they did some article. That's not the important part. It's just a funny thought that my face was printed in a fucking news article in Pedestrian like 10 years ago. Me being like, yes, with a band.
And did it say, make sure you check your balls every now and then, or you could end up being Pesty Slav?
You know what? I wish it said that.
But what
like,
did it say?
it was just some like ad about a band I used to play in, promoting him because
Well,
our
new
friend.
challenge for Twitch. Whoever finds that article will get my many thanks.
I just think it's
We'll be
funny.
reading that out.
I just think it's funny that like, you know, why was I in pedestrian? It's just fucking funny to me. Like, and this was like 10. No.
So really, that was the peak of your fame.
I guess so. Yeah.
And it flew by you like that. You're like that musician in South America that they found when he was like 80 years old and said, "Hey, you're a smash hit in the US." He was like, "Kid."
That's exactly what I'm like. You're right. I'm exactly like that man in every way, and I'm very happy about it.
Did they give you any shout out?
Zero.
Or was it just the usual? Right. Okay. So it was the usual pedestrian article. Someone paid for that to be up, and then they just put a bunch of gifs of MILFs from Real Housewives of America. Don't go there.
That sounds interesting to me. Where can I get a subscription from?
Oh God. I don't know the details. I just think it's funny that there's a photo of me being like, yes, I'm in a cool band from 10 years ago.
Jordan, you've asked everyone to comment on Cam's stream, and anyone that comments, he is banning them and deleting their comments.
Oh.
Well, tell him that a video's coming his way, so he'll have a lot of comments to delete.
Yeah. Does he deserve it?
Absolutely, he deserves it. He's scum of the earth. He's one of the worst of the clickbait journalists. He's so sneaky. He's a complete liar as well. The things that he's written about me are just so untrue. And they're also just used as gospel throughout the entire mainstream media nexus. He knows how to write a little underhanded cunty attack piece, and he's not getting away with it. And I will be pointing out all of his physical faults in excruciating detail.
Stay tuned. More on that later.
You're not just being mean.
Huh?
You're not being mean.
I'm being mean.
He's being mean. His nan's gonna send him another message.
Can we talk about that?
We did.
But I want to talk about it every week from till the day I die. It's so fucking funny.
Why? I don't understand why she, like, I understand why she's offended by me, because she's offended by Australian Survivor. She thinks that's too red hot. But I really don't understand why it was that specific day that she decided to send the message, also known as my birthday. Yes, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
That was sent.
Oh my God.
On my 31st. Didn't get a happy birthday. Got a, what was it again? I can't even remember, but many, this is disgustings in a single text.
But that was on your birthday.
I think so, wasn't it?
Dude, it was.
Happy. Oh, should we sing him happy birthday?
Dude, but like a week
I think we could skip that.
Okay.
Like he had a fucking Blade Runner 2049 birthday anyway. Where it was like, would you like to see an emoji from a friend? The connection is bad. Sorry.
I did. And my girlfriend is a robot.
All right, then let's move to the first segment, which is the news. Jordan.
Cam Wilson sucks. This just in.
Besides that,
Jesus.
on a scale of 1 to 10, how pissed are we with Gladys?
Look, I shouldn't comment because we'll just get banned. You talk about it.
Look,
I'll save it.
Doing the best she can in a bad situation. I'm just so I can't fathom how much I hate Gladys Berejiklian, and I'm kind of past that. George Carlin was talking about this beautiful point of nirvana where you kind of just take a step back from humanity and you're just commenting on it as if it's watching a monkey juggle in the zoo. That's how I feel about Gladys Berejiklian and John Barilaro now. I got over the whole wave of what they're doing in New South Wales. Now I'm just sitting there like, now they're doing that.
I just hate how this is what's kind of annoying me about her now, that she is a bit spineless. Like her view on everything just lost 5 days. She argues whatever she is arguing at that point with absolute certainty, convinces everyone that that's the way to do. Until 5 days later, she'll get pressurized by either the federal government saying that the harsh down needs to be stronger, or by like Dan Andrews that you need to put in a curfew. Like, why do people have to force her to do shit? And why does she always succumb to it? Like, I would respect her more if she was sticking to her guns.
Yeah.
Like,
I've got an answer for that. Don't you, Ali? Doesn't this sum up Gladys Berejiklian perfectly when you understand this little piece of the jigsaw puzzle? From everybody that I've talked to in New South Wales Parliament, they all say something along the lines of, all she cares about is maintaining cabinet. So that kind of guise of stability.
Well, she builds cabinets, does she?
That's all she gives a shit about, is making sure that everyone in her cabinet room is happy enough that she can maintain power. But for no end other than she gets to say, this bridge is going to be very good for Southwest Sydney. Yay! That's it.
That's what Clonell, what's the Sky News guy? What's his name?
Andrew Clonell.
That was his point, like, for some time, that she is essentially her entire COVID strategy now is how to make sure she gets reelected.
Yeah.
Well, that's her strategy for everything. But
well, come on, that is all politics.
Strategy, but it's more, she's actually just worried about getting rolled.
Well, it turns out that there are talks within the government to roll her.
Well, there has been from day one. It's just that she's had such a powerful public image. The Gladys Glow, that definitely exists. She's one of the most popular premiers in New South Wales, or has been in recent history up until recently. And now that there is all of this COVID stuff coming through and people are actually forced to pay attention to premiers for a second, no one likes what they see. So I think Dom Perrottet knows that this is his chance to strike.
What's with this? I've been reading about this, but I don't know what's going on. Apparently he's embroiled in some scandal, like Wolf of Wall Street scandal. Do you know anything about that shit?
Vaguely. I just know the bare bones of it. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't even know the bare bones of it. It was something to do with Midi something or other, but I should look into it, but I don't. All I care about these days is, what the hell? Platypus died in this river. Disgraceful.
Right on.
And they died in that river as well. That's also disgraceful.
Doubly disgraceful. But Michael West was arguing whatever that scandal is, the Wolf of Wall Street scandal.
Yeah, of course.
He was saying that that's because, like, it's strategic. Like, there are forces behind the curtain that want to make sure that Gladys stays there for whatever reason.
Oh, yes,
sure.
There is. But that's because of the factions within the Liberal Party. But I will say this. The developer faction really wants Gladys Berejiklian to be there. And it's because she's weak. She constantly tries to make people happy within the government. I understand actually her caving to John Barilaro, for instance, because he can always just say, I'm going to leave the government. He can just constantly threaten to press the nuke button. And so obviously everyone goes, okay, what are your demands? So I do understand her caving to him, but everyone in her government, just resign. You know, surely you can write some book where you have this specific picture of you on the front. Making decisions.
What picture?
This, don't you think?
The woman who tried to save Australia.
No, don't you think if it's a political book, it has to be?
Well, what about this? Girl boss.
No, it has to be something more like something sort of like, like the rose bush above Parliament Hill. Mm.
Yeah, that's true.
Is that a sex thing?
No, just ambiguous enough, just ambiguous shit that sounds romantic and like creative about Canberra. Just sort of like, like, I don't know, fucking Parliament bed of thorns.
And you know what? I would buy that book because I really want to see the area that she lives in. That's all I care about these days, is looking at pictures of the northern beaches and thinking, oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Don't we all? Don't
Well,
we
do you,
all?
Ali? Are you at that point where you can actually, Jack from Labor, avid listener of this podcast, he summed it up so well that you know that you've reached adulthood when you go to a country town and part of the tourism is looking at the Ray White window and going, how much a house is here? 800,000. Full bedroom, not bad.
That is a very Aussie thing.
Yeah, it's Aussie dad.
Aussie dad.
Aussie men love looking at houses.
Aussie
and I
man.
honestly could do it for the rest of my life. I used to hate going to these on Saturdays, and then something all of a sudden clicked in my head, and I was like, is that redwood timber, is it? When was this built? The 40s. Yeah, it still holds up.
It makes sense though, because it's the boomer Bitcoin. These guys bought like apartments and houses for $50,000 that are worth minimum $1.6 million now. Like it was Bitcoin for them. So of course they'll be obsessed.
Yeah, but like everything, it was just way slower than Bitcoin. Don't you think it was a what 30-year long game? It's a long time to invest.
But every 2 years, it like appreciates by $100,000. That is not.
Well, every 2 months. Let's be real.
Yeah, well, at this point, it is. So it makes sense. Like I remember when I first came to Australia, I was a teenager, and my uncle, who's been here since the '60s, sat me down and he was like, "The key to being Australian and living the dream is to buy a house. If you want to survive in this country, you must buy a house." And I was like, all right, well, that helps me considering I make $200 a week right now.
He's like, I meant a toy house, Ali. Even if it is a replica, you must buy a house.
Yes.
Something. He's like, no, he did say if you can't buy a house, get like a motorhome. Something.
Are you sure this guy wasn't this is an Aussie talking, right?
No, this guy is a Paki who sneaked into Australia pretty much right after White Australia policy ended, I think. He's been here since ages, but still has the thickest accent you'll ever hear.
He kind of deserves to be here with that attitude. He's an Aussie.
Oh, dude, Miss Love, you'd love him. You would love this character. He is insane. He's I always describe him as that character from the Dave Chappelle skit where Dave Chappelle is a blind black man, but he's also racist because he doesn't know he's black.
Yeah.
That's what my uncle is.
Really?
He's constantly talking about how annoying and useless any other race aside from white people are. And amongst the white people, Jews are at the top of the ladder. You should aspire to be Jewish.
Very clever man. Very clever.
He's constantly shitting.
How is that man Pakistani?
According
That's the whole thing. He's not, is he?
Well, at this point he isn't, but he tells me that the reason why he came to Australia was because he used to work in a factory in Pakistan when he was young. And one time they were all chilling at like a lunch break, and he's just like, guys, am I the only one? But Muhammad sucks balls.
I will not hear this on Schwammer FM.
You should. And they chased him with a fucking knife.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and he bounced to Australia.
They chased him with a knife.
That's his
still
story.
Explain. How the fuck did he get in?
He probably came as like a visitor and just never left.
Oh, okay, right. Just
That used to be that used to be a legitimate immigration strategy back in the day, that you just come here on a visit visa, wait for a couple of years until the government announces an amnesty and says, all right, whoever is already here gets citizenship, but from now onwards, this is not on. And as soon as they get citizenship, they tell all their friends, guys, you got 2 more years to come in.
Fuck.
That used to be a thing. Dude, I know one of my uncles, I probably shouldn't say this, but one of my uncles came to Australia, different uncle,
How many fucking uncles? How big is your family?
a million. So he came to Australia, he lived here, he came on a visit visa, stayed here for a couple of years, decided that, I don't know, I think I want to go back. And because he was on a visit visa for 2 years, he was technically illegal. The Australian government says they announce an amnesty saying anyone over here, they'll give them citizenship. This is like in the 70's. And he's like, nah, fuck this. I want to go back to Pakistan. He surrenders himself, gets deported. 6 months later, decides, you know what? That was a stupid decision. I want to go back. Changes his name till this day. His name is changed.
Oh my god.
Applies for another visit visa, comes here, stays here for another 2 years, and eventually gets citizenship.
Wow.
What?
Migrant success story.
This
And you know
is-
what? I bet you he is taught in schools in Pakistan of like the bravest man to have ever lived.
I love how
the most average man ever, because that's everyone's story from that era.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, but you
Dude.
can't do that shit now. But
Well, I was
that
gonna
used to be a thing.
yeah, because I was gonna say
Like
like
with like Aussies wearing sideburns and being way more chill. Why was the 70s so relaxed?
I don't know. It was, wasn't it? You could smoke on planes, man.
Yeah.
It
Well,
really
you-
does sort of seem to be the peak of society because, again, back to the houses, everyone that I'm talking to, because now I'm obsessed with property developers, they all say that if you want to buy a house in Australia, you buy one from the 70s. That's when the technology got better, regulation was there. So you still had a really sturdy house, and it looks like you're in the Brady Bunch as well. Like you just walk in there and you're like, I really should grow an afro, you know, like it's a nice feeling. There was a nice vibe about the 70s. It was a cool era.
Yeah, apparently my
Not wrong.
auntie also tells me that you could, like, you know how now if you get on the dole or if you go to Centrelink, there's a whole process and everything. Apparently back in the day, you just showed up and they gave you a check.
Yeah. And you know what? My dad
What?
did that. He just traveled around in a combi and then he'd pick up his dole check at the post office and say, yeah, I'm going to be in Nimbin in 2 weeks. So can you post it onto there? And then the guy, obviously, again with sideburns, yeah, no worries, man. Again, yeah. Do you want a joint for the road? I've got a lot, but yeah, I'll take another one. Thanks. And I think that's the whole thing. He just lived off cans of tuna and weed for an entire decade. Doesn't that sound like a great existence? And that's just something that Australians don't do anymore. Unless
you
they're
can't.
surfies. But it's just, there was a period in Australia where everyone was a surfie, from
Yeah,
homeless man to prime minister.
that
They
was
all
sick.
had like a picture of a yin and yang poster in the background and a unicorn flying through space. That was just, that happened.
It's
Would you
awesome.
rather live in that time again?
I would.
I think it would have been a nice era. It seems, and like everything that my parents talk about when they say, what were you doing in the 70s? What were the activities that you were doing? And they'll be like, oh, you know, we played Dungeons and Dragons, and back then it was cool. Like there was a black guy sitting around doing Dungeons and Dragons, and he looked exactly like Jimi Hendrix. He wasn't one of those skinny guys that's into Dune now. We were into astral traveling. That's what we did on the weekend. We astral traveled.
So true.
By the way,
Isn't that like? And that's.
that
Sorry, I just really need to impress that. I'm not joking when I say that. They said that they used to sit around, do acid or smoke weed, and then get out some hippie book with some woman on the front with fuzzy hair saying, how to unleash a past life. And then I don't know if they were tricking themselves or they actually did astral travel. Who the fuck knows? Maybe there was just a little window in the dimension consciousness of the world where you could. And they'd just be like, yeah, I just went back to like the Middle Ages. It's pretty smelly, man. I'm not going to lie. The 70s was better.
Have you tried astral projecting, Jordan?
No, I'm too scared.
I have because of that. Yeah, because of.
How come you've never told me?
Well, I told you. It was ages ago. It was because of your mom's book. Your mom had a book about astral projection, which I borrowed. And
how the fuck didn't she tell me this?
And I tried it to the T.
Yeah.
I was not successful, but I think I was close.
Well, what's close?
Astral projection.
Well, like, so what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to lie down in the dark and you're supposed to like feel your movement and you're supposed to picture a rope that is extending towards your belly and you want to like climb on that rope without actually using your hands or anything, just with your mind. And then apparently you can astral project. And they said that the cue of that happening was you'll start to get really sweaty and you'll leave. I got to the sweaty bit, but I couldn't get to the bit where like I look at my body just sleeping.
I got to the sweaty bit.
Well, you're always at the sweaty bit.
Hey, wait a sec.
Ali, is it because you wigged out that you stopped, or was it that you were trying really hard and then you fell asleep?
I don't think I had the sort of mental alertness that this activity demanded. Like I was too in my head. I suppose you're just supposed to keep practicing it until it happens. But I also was not on acid or anything. Like I was doing this sober. So maybe you need acid for it to work.
Maybe, but I think that was a bit of an exaggeration. I think they either did acid or astral project. I mean, they were smoking weed the whole time, but it was 70s weed. It was really strange. It was like cigarettes were way stronger and weed was way weaker. And it's just gone the other way.
Yeah, I think weed then was basically just smoking a vape. Same level of head buzz.
Yeah,
Ali,
that's what everyone says, because you hear this from boomers all the time, that they smoked weed in the 70s and then the 80s hit, and then all of a sudden the sidebirds just magically fell off, and then they opened up their wardrobe and it was filled with suits. And so they just went through the rest of their lives like that. And then their teenage kids started smoking weed, and then they had that, and they were just like, fuck, this is stronger than acid from the 70s. You hear that so frequently. But it just seems like a way more mild time. I swear to God, that is maybe the only reason that 70s show worked as a show and that 80s show didn't.
What, the sideburns?
Yeah, look, okay, let me just go back. 50% of it was the sideburns. The other 50% was the fact that the era itself just feels relaxing. Like, when I think about it, I feel like, yeah, those jumpers that everyone wore that seems like their nan made them for them, they seem comfy. It's just there was less people in the world. The environment wasn't fucked. Everyone was kind of just a bit hippie, but not as grungy and gross as the 60s. I've got nothing but positive things to say about it. And I think it's all coming from the fact that Snoop Dogg once pointed out that everybody's always trying to go back to the 80s. Man, 70s. I've got 3 words for y'all. Starsky and Hutch.
Well, Snoop in that story reminds me, when are you advocating for legalizing marijuana in Australia, Jordan?
Are you advertising that? Advocating, not same.
Yes, I
am. A bold move.
I remember there was some guy on Patreon who sent us a message saying, I am an advocate of legalizing weed. Every time you mention it, I will chuck $10.
Well, let's see if he's good for it.
Jesus.
This was also
He's done it, so cough up.
That's a lot. It's
But like,
crazy.
but
Oh, I know. I think I know who that
was
is.
$10 for Ali. I'm so proud of you, man, that is your economic activity, that you can just come on some shitty Zoom camera and say, I endorse legal marijuana. And that's worth money.
I remember it was almost getting legalized during Tony Abbott's time. Like, I don't know what the holdup is. They were supposed to introduce like weed oil or something.
I think they did.
CBD.
No?
Well, I don't know, but
CBD.
it's not available in the market. I tell you that.
What? Okay, so weed oil, not just stuff that you use to, make candles or whatever.
Yeah, but then they also ruin it. They take out all the good stuff from it and leave the bad stuff.
What's the bad stuff?
The bad stuff is the body high. The good stuff is mental high.
Well, that's for you.
Really?
Well, nah, yeah, you're right. Look, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think, getting 2 liters of weed butter and turning that into like 6 brownies is maybe too much. Maybe.
Oh no, that's insane. Screw edibles.
Yeah.
Not a fan. Again, too.
Mislav doesn't need edibles. Look at him.
Dude, I fucking smoked weed. So I got this natural bush off Shamwan. And
Actually, yes, sorry to interrupt you, but can we reconstruct the conversation that we had this morning? Because Ali needs to weigh in on this.
what conversation?
I have a really controversial opinion, Ali, that The Godfather 1 and 2 are good films. And like, I know that isn't controversial to the world, but it is to Mislav.
That's not accurate. I'm just sick of, this is my situation with talking about movies to Jordan. Hey Jordan, have you seen any good gangster movies? Yeah, I've seen The Godfather 1 and 2. Okay, cool. Yeah, they're great. I know. Can I recommend this other one? Sure. Did you watch it? Yeah, man, I just ended up rewatching The Godfather 1. Okay, fair enough. Hey man, I've got this other sick gangster movie. I was wondering, you should check it out. Do you want to watch it? Yeah, sweet. Okay. Hey man, did you watch that movie? Oh no, I ended up watching Godfather 2. Oh, okay. And then hey dude, I found this other sick movie. So Bronx Tale, this other one called Once Upon a Time in America. Amazing. I'd say better than The Godfather. I think you should watch it. Okay. Hey man, did you watch it? No, I watched The Godfather 3. Okay, sweet. Hey man, I've found this other really cool movie about this mafia movie. I was just wondering, like, I think you should watch it. You're gonna watch it? Yeah, sweet. Hey man, did you watch it? No, man, I reread the script for The Godfather 1, and I found this little nuance where, like, when like Corleone broke his arm, and how he put that orange in his mouth? It was actually a tangerine. Okay, sick. How many more times are you gonna fucking either watch The Godfather or read a fucking analysis or transcript of it? Till you die? Okay, till you die. Okay, cool. Well, maybe on your 99th birthday, I'll get you to watch a fucking Bronx Tale, if I'm fucking lucky.
Ali, that was a bit of an exaggeration.
Not much, though.
Yeah, but I mean, look, both of us are lying about both of our stances on it. The reality of the situation is
we both like it.
Mislav thinks it's a good film.
Of course.
I'm just offended that he doesn't think it's one of the top 10.
I think it is. I probably think it is.
Do you think it's in the top 10, Ali?
It is. It is.
Yes. Yeah, I think. Because it was like, wasn't it one of the first ones to explore that mafia dynasty thing? It was a trendsetter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I've been doing a lot of reading into YouTube about it. So that's a bit of a contradiction, an oxymoron. I've been watching YouTube videos about it. But yeah, instead of watching Coming to America or whatever it's fucking called.
Coming to America.
No,
the number 2.
No, it's not Coming to America, you fuck. There's a movie, Ali. Okay, I'll let Jordan go on, but I watched this movie called Once Upon a Time in America.
Oh yeah, the Robert De Niro one, right?
Yes, and I knew nothing about it, and I thought I'd seen all the fucking classics, the most classic films made. I thought I'd seen at least most of them, and this movie fucking floored me. I thought it was fucking amazing, incredible.
Because it was all about the vibe. I slept through that movie twice.
I cried.
It's too long.
That's what everyone says. It's not too long. There's a
And
fucking...
most of it is about like some kid.
You suck, dude. I cried.
I cried too because
No, you didn't. You slept. And yeah, and most of it's about a kid because the kids fucking they're the only ones who know how to live in this goddamn world. It was poignant and emotional and intense and fucking beautiful.
Anyways, enough about Once Upon a Time. Coming back to Godfather, Jordan, did you know, fun fact, that cat on Marlon Brando's lap was not supposed to be there.
Well, he
He
just
just-
rested on it.
He just
'Cause he's such a beanbag that it was
I
just
can't-
naturally
I
found.
can't believe we're having this conversation again. Oh, the cat just rested. Oh, I can't believe the cat. I can't believe a free-thinking animal that for a living rests on things, rested on an actor. You know, I might rewatch that fucking analysis of The Godfather myself.
You should, because Marlon Brando, was the first, what's it called? The first method actor, apparently. And he was so into character. People around him
fuck off.
thought that it was stupid that a crime boss is holding a cat, but he knew that was going to be
Revolutionary.
a thing.
You holding a cat was going to set the sails of cinematic history from then on.
But don't pretend
Wouldn't
that
it
it
be
did
amazing
become
if
that.
he didn't do that in a parallel universe? You look at the ratings on Rotten Tomatoes and it gets like a 12%.
No cats, 10%.
Yeah, but I was looking into it. You know what the meaning of The Godfather is, Ali? Both of those together, because it was from the book. Isn't this great? You know the little puppet hand thing?
Yeah.
It's mostly a movie about you can't really pick your destiny. It's just wheels within wheels of destiny happening. That he was a migrant that came there because he saw his family get blown away. He was a little bit more psycho than the Don Homer guy in the white suit walking around, which I've got to say, probably the greatest character in filmic history, how he just pops up as like, let me wet my beak, huh? That guy's great. Only second to that senator that's just like, I don't like your kind in my country with your oily hair and slick shoes. That guy was sick. And isn't one of the most amazing? I really feel like just playing that clip in a John Barilaro video we do.
Dude, okay, how about this? Godfather 1, 2, and 3 can be replaced with just this one phrase. The thug life I didn't choose the thug life. The thug life chose me.
Did you know that was the real meaning of it?
Oh yeah, that also became the real meaning of every fucking crime movie after that. That like, oh, they're not like born this way. It's the circumstances that they're in that makes them deal with situations that way.
God, because that's so strange. Because I've told Mislov this a couple of times now, but I'm such an idiot that when I watched it, I was just like, Don Corleone has been pissed off. You don't want to piss off Don Corleone. Al Pacino is kicking ass, the movie. I thought it was just mostly just like, you don't want to see me when I'm angry. But there's more subtext to it than that. That's all I was amazed by that. The fact that, yeah, it was just like, I didn't choose this life. The life chose me. And then also the fact that that last shot of The Godfather 2 where he's staring out and there's no one around.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler.
Yeah, but it's a bit like, did you know that Ben-Hur, there's some pretty scary, like, just in case you haven't seen Ben-Hur yet.
There's a Trojan horse, dude.
I don't know if there is. I haven't seen Ben-Hur. I don't know what it's about.
I'm thinking of Troy. I just assume Troy is Ben-Hur.
That is the opposite of Ben-Hur.
As if it's the opposite of Ben-Hur. They're like similar era.
But anyway.
No.
What do you mean, no?
Oh, no, the similar era in the sense that the movies are based on similar, but they were made like at least 60 years apart.
Yeah, but the same fucking world.
All right. Sorry, Jordan, what are you saying?
I'm just saying, what you were saying of, I didn't choose the thug life chose me. it was incredible because I was just telling him the meaning of The Godfather, and then he said, "Yeah. I've been watching a really he said I've been watching the exact opposite of that." Right? He gets high. Just you pick up the story from here, Miss. You tell everyone how you spent your Saturday.
I'm not sure what story you're alluding to. You're gonna have to start me here.
You got high.
Oh, say no more. So I won't go into the history of my relationship with Lady Marijuana.
But he freaks out on it.
I freak out on it, and I smoked. I had this like bush weed, so I was like, yeah, it's bush weed. Like it'll be fucking chill. Like it has to be. It's basically grass. Like it's grass. It's the shit on the lawn, you know. So I smoked it once or twice before. It seemed pretty mellow, so I was like, fuck it. I had half a joint, you know. And these ones like. Holding it in vibes, you know. I don't know why I did that. I didn't have to demonstrate the time period.
I gotta say, it was effective though.
Yeah.
I was
Now
right there with you in the room.
Now we know exactly how high you were.
So
no wonder he's not impressed by Francis Ford Coppola's work.
So I mean, I don't know if this story's. I'm curious to see what Jordan's interested in about it. But basically, I smoked it, and then I was like in the kitchen, and then bam, my old friend, Psychosis just went knocking on the door. Dunk, dunk, dunk. It's your old friend, you know, Psychosis. At which point I locked myself in my room, turned all the lights off, and was just like, and was just like freaking out. Sort of at some point managed to. It was like that thing in The Simpsons where like Barney drinks the thing and it's like, blah, blah, and there's just like, and then drinks the 6-pack of beer and the elephant crushes the monster. Like I just grabbed a bottle of wine. I was like, old friend, help me. Yep. And I needed to. I was like, I need to somehow weigh this out, like panic attack mode. And then I was like, I got to watch something. I put Seinfeld on. That was like putting on 2001: A Space Odyssey. So I was like, I can't handle that. It's too intense.
How the fuck was that too intense?
It just was. That's how fucked I was. I couldn't handle it. And then
so designed for making you unwind.
I don't know what to tell you, man.
What, you were looking at it and Jerry had that, as usual, mildly judgmental face on, and you were thinking, he knows.
Yeah, basically. Yes. I was like, they're actually really mean to each other. I can't handle this. I need a fluffy rainbow. Don't be mean to each other. So.
Oh, right. Well, look, just for anyone, this is a great tip. If you're ever wigging out on anything, don't do what Miss Love does, which is watch Scarface.
Hey, V for Vendetta, then Scarface.
Watch something like SpongeBob SquarePants or...
Yeah. Why did I watch Scarface that time? So fucking dumb.
I don't know, but yeah, just make sure that you watch kid shows.
Yeah.
That's great for making you mellow, but...
Absolutely. Yeah. Anyway, I obviously didn't learn my lesson because I then was like, I need something. So I went for Bad Boys for Life. And let me tell you,
so good. And this guy's sitting there with snide opinions about The Godfather 2.
Damn straight I do.
You're a joke. You really are.
You're a joke. You haven't seen any movies apart from The Godfather. You can't talk.
Oh my God. Sometimes you say things that are just so offensive.
This is what you've seen. The Godfather's parts 1 to 3 and Faulty Towers. That's all you've watched.
I haven't seen Faulty Towers. What are you fucking just...
Bullshit, you haven't.
How have we been friends for 15 years? I really don't understand where your mind is.
That's all you've watched. You haven't seen...
You just think that I've seen Faulty Towers because in your mind I'm Manuel. Is that the deal?
Okay, sorry, not Faulty Towers. SpongeBob. All right, you happy?
And Sunrise. Give me my due.
Anyway, this movie completely fucked me up. It was so fucked. It was disturbing beyond reproach. And yeah, is that the long and short of it, Jordan? I was then also had like flashbacks to it for 2 days after the end.
Yeah, but I've also got to point this out, right? That could only happen to Miss Love.
Why?
And while, Ali, think about this. You know this from knowing this man. While he is sitting there being dismissive of the meaning of the Godfather of I didn't choose the thug life, it chose me.
I wasn't thinking this.
His life is just the Godfather 2 story. It's just like, it really is from beginning to end of, I know for a fact that marijuana doesn't make me feel good. So I try it anyway. Then I feel bad. Then I feel sorry for myself. Then I go sit down because it's all too much. Then I watch a really shit movie and it freaks me out more. I didn't choose the bum life. It chose me.
You know what? Man, he's not right. He's not wrong. Sorry, he's not wrong.
I'm not wrong. You really are. It couldn't have been more of that little hand with the fucking puppet strings over the top of it if you tried. It's the story of your life is your Saturday.
I know.
Just constantly knowing something's bad, trying it again and going, oh, that's why it's bad. Uh-oh.
I know. It's so annoying. And like,
then watching a joke of a film and being scared about how much of a joke it is and sitting through it.
I watched the whole thing.
It's not bad. I tell you, it's not bad.
Well, you've seen Bad Boys for Life.
I have seen every movie that's been mentioned thus far.
Holy shit.
How?
I've seen Bad Boys for Life. Because I'm a kid from Pakistan. Those are the two movies that we watch as part of our curriculum. Bad Boys and Fast and the Furious.
Dude, you've seen...
look, if we could flash up a picture of Ali's older brother, that statement would all make sense. Like, you know for a fact that guy likes Bad Boys. But it's so pathetic, Bad Boys for Life. It's just like...
Yeah, what did you think about Bad Boys for Life?
Huh?
Sorry, I cut you off. I just want to know Ali's opinion on the movie. But
go on.
I don't mind it. I'd give it a 6.8 out of 10.
What about that whole insane story about the fucking Mexican like drug cartel going to kill these guys? What the hell was that about?
Well, you need a villain in any narrative, and they needed to make a good film.
Why is every fucking movie's villain now drug cartels? Like, is Hollywood that out of ideas? Every single one.
That's the US, man. There's a reason why Pablo became the richest guy in the world. Like, Americans love drugs.
Well, I
guess
you've won this round.
All right, okay. How about we move to some, because we're nearing the end of the pod. Let's move to some segments real quick. First one is...
Was The Godfather 3 that bad?
No, wait. Segment 5. In the reading of The Godfather 1, did the second brother hate The Godfather as much as the first, or not as much? Discuss.
No, we might hold off on discussing that, but there's a new study which shows that Australians aren't having any babies, and that's a problem.
Well, I can sum that up in 2 words: housing affordability.
No, I was gonna say X videos.
Oh, is that really?
Well, I don't know.
Nah, no way. It is housing. It's housing.
But
it could be X videos.
Well, there is a thing of like the fertility rate is dropping. We're now like at 50% the levels of 1980.
I reckon that's because of pesticides.
That's microplastics.
Maybe, but either way, there's that, and there's also people not wanting to have kids. What do you guys say? Should we encourage more unprotected boning?
You know my opinion.
Don't say it.
No, go on. Let everyone know how filthy you are.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, yes,
It's funner.
they should have kids. That's all I'm saying. They should
Okay.
have kids. Pump them out.
And are
Just
you
so-
going to have kids?
Who?
You, miss.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I suppose it doesn't really matter to us. The TikTok story is all about women. But with us,
Yeah. Well,
I
it is
can imagine
actually.
that just Miss Love busting a final nut, having a heart attack.
Wait, Jordan, do you want to have
Jesus
kids?
Christ. Sorry, go on.
I don't want to have kids. I feel it's my duty to the country.
Because your semen is that important.
Damn straight.
Well, no, I just honestly think that, yeah, there's some element of narcissism to this, but there's also an element of reality, which is everyone else that I know that's having kids are like dodgy plumbers and shit cunt ex-football players. It's all these dumbasses. It's the
That's not-
idiocracy thing. You have to cancel them out.
Yeah, that's true. Because that's not exclusively true. Remember our dear friend who's got a kid with one on the way?
No.
The
Who is it?
man that works is associated with, let's say,
Councils?
councils, correct?
Oh, yeah, that guy. And see, that's the other thing. He's ethnic. I got to cancel them out as well.
You're ethnic. Oh wait, I don't know if you are. I don't know how you define that, but
But
No,
yeah, he's a legend, but he's a rare exception.
do you want him, Ali?
Most of the people of our generation that I know that are having kids shouldn't be having kids. They shouldn't own dogs.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to have kids, but now I consider if you don't have kids, then you have a better standard of living. And that is something that is discouraging me.
I mean, that's not really true. Like at a certain point, fucking it is. You need to have more income. But it's like, dude, send them to public schools, fucking shop, fucking eat black and gold, whatever.
But
Well,
how
that's
do
the
we?
big reason that I want to wait until I can have kids, because I really don't want them to have the same upbringing as me.
Fair.
Don't you reckon? Like
Well, I was quite,
having leftovers 3 nights in a row. Can we at least aim for 2?
yeah. I mean,
That's actually one of the worst reasons to have kids, because then you're gonna fucking impose these weird things that you have going in your mind that are related to your childhood. The best way to have kids is to just let them be, I think.
What, like
No.
it's fucking Lord of the Flies? That's terrible advice.
What are you doing? But like, if you, why? What different do you want to do with your kids?
Well, first off, I'd like to not be insane. That'd be a good start.
Well, you've lost there already.
Yeah, see, this is the thing. Luckily I'm dating an IA, so like I'm an AI, so that does cancel that out. It's fortunate in that circumstance. You know what else I want to do? I want to read a lot of parenting books. Haven't even gotten into that field yet, but like everything else in life, some 80s guy with a gay cop mustache and a really peaceful, serene face standing in front of some Hawaiian beach has never steered me wrong in the past. I'm reading those books about parenthood. Screw it. I'm reading Bill Cosby's book about parenthood.
Oh,
What?
jeez. Jesus. Now you say Panthera, Ali.
Bill Cosby on
Now you
parenting.
say Panthera.
I wouldn't trust that. But
No.
Miss, do you think like part of us, like our generation,
Yeah.
not having more kids has to do? You know how like in Japan, most of the population is asexual. Do you think that shit's creeping in here?
Well, no. I wouldn't say to the same degree. I mean, everyone knows affluence goes up, kids child production goes down generally. It happens everywhere. Like it's happening slowly in China.
Isn't there exceptions to the rule of that?
Nah, I mean, there's exceptions like here and there, but generally,
I'm just trying to remember where they are. But you're right.
Urbanization usually does it, but
urbanization. But like, I think culturally there might be a slight shift in Australia's perception of having kids. Traditionally, it's been a big thing and it's super important and it's like a very important thing to do, generally speaking. I think that might be shifting a little bit, probably because of like, the internet and like Netflix and also housing affordability and all that shit. But my opinion is I think it should be your choice, obviously, but I think that if you forego having kids, you will miss out on something extremely profound in your life, something extremely one of the most enriching things, challenging definitely, but like one of the most enriching things you could ever do. Why would you deny yourself of that?
Yeah, and dying alone kind of sounds not appealing to me.
Yeah, I mean, I just like kids too. They're fucking.
Oh God, Miss, you shouldn't have admitted that. Now you'll get in trouble.
Oh yeah. What are you talking about?
Marcus Dibble was just caught out. We don't need him.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'll be taking that. Yeah. I like kids. It's just conclusive.
Pedo alert.
He's a pedo.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's.
So you think it is like
Cam Wilson is snooping around?
Who? Oh right.
Said from the beginning.
Jesus.
Like, can we just call him that from now on?
No, let's not throw out accusations.
His name is Cam Wilson. His first name is Fuck. His last name is Head.
Dude, but we're not. Can we go one pod without throwing out a random, inconclusive pedophile accusation?
Well, we've already blown that this time. We'll aim for it next, miss.
Why don't we start a campaign? Do not pull out.
Yeah, I think it's necessary.
I think you keep forgetting that we're not in Pakistan anymore.
Or instead of
but in Pakistan, it'd be for the love of Allah, pull out.
Right. No, it wouldn't. It'd be
yes, it would. It's so many, dude. If there's one thing Pakistan doesn't need, it's more kids.
Right, gotcha. Well, you guys have been there. I don't know.
Yeah, there's plenty of kids. All right, well, so things aren't hopeless. If Miss Love believes that having kids is important, then I suppose. But doesn't that like support the idiocracy point of view?
Oh, brutal.
Rich
kidding.
coming from
but
you.
Like, come on.
I've had life.
He does have a point. You're not ready to have kids if you're smoking weed when you know you can't, and then feeling bad about it, and then the peak, the way that you remedy that is watching Bad Boys for Life.
I didn't say I'm ready yet. You might have your books marked, Ali, but I got a little thing you don't have. Life experience.
Yes, you do.
Street smart
experience.
You have spent more hours under a Croatian bridge being homeless than I have. That is
not just
that counts
bridge.
for something.
Inside buildings more than you have as well, my friend.
I think Ali would be a good dad, and I think Miss Love would be a good granddad. And I think I'd be bad at both. I don't think I should have kids.
No,
I
you
should be neutered, but that's skip somehow.
If Ali had kids, he'd put them in that fucking little dog cage.
Yeah, you are very upset by my dog cage, Miss Love. Do you think I don't treat my dog well?
I think you put your dog in prison.
Answers that question.
Hey?
I think the dog cage answers.
Yeah, I think the dog cage speaks for itself there.
That's strong coming from you, Miss.
Why's that?
Well, that'll be too harsh, but whatever.
Oh, brutal.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Didn't you get bored of one?
Oh. Oh. Shots fired. You are lucky that Miss Love can't leave his bed.
I would beat the shit out of you.
It.
I would pummel you. That's like I'd punch you as hard as I'd pummel Christo. Fuck me.
I'm glad that this is on Zoom.
All I'm gonna say is you've made
Hey, it had to be done.
You've made an enemy for life, my friend.
No, you are very, very kind to your
Damn.
dog. But
I really
just
don't like the idea of a bed hating me.
Fuck. I am now enemies with most people at Friendly Jordies. I gotta leave this fucking shit.
Yeah, that is true, actually.
The only cunt I'm not an enemy with is like, I think it's like 50-50 now. You've made the list. What's your name? Packy Man? I'll just call you Packy cunt from now on.
If we look at your enemies list, is it exactly the same as Richard Nixon's?
I don't know. Is Christo and Ali on the fucking Richard Nixon's list?
Let's be honest, probably.
No.
No. It was writing down Ali's name and being like, is that Henry Kissinger? No. He might be useful later.
All right. Anyway, so our conclusion is have more kids. That's the point.
Yeah,
I think that actually is a really good idea. That if you are listening to this podcast, you should be having kids.
Yeah, because
I think that there's no shame in it. And anybody that is saying, should I not have kids because the environment's going to be so bad that they'll be growing up in a horrible world? If you're thinking that, that's why you should have kids, because everyone else who's having kids is thinking, yeah, fuck, Tinder squeeze. And oh, fuck, how do you know it's mine? No, don't take the test. Oh, fuck. Now I have to take double shifts in Coles. Like, like those people shouldn't be having kids and they are.
Do you think like we should do something like China and just mandate everyone needs to have 3 kids?
Yeah.
You can't do that here.
Hey, what would you guys call your kids?
Something that is anglicized enough for people like Miss Love not to make fun of him.
Right. So Reggie.
No. Reggie.
Damn, Reg. And you know what? Not a bad name for Ali's kid.
Reg.
He does sound like he would vape a lot.
He probably would. Wait, what would you name your kid, Jordan?
I don't know about the girl, but I really want to call my son Mars.
Mars?
Are you kidding?
No.
After the chocolate bar or the planet?
Oh, chocolate bar, of course. But don't you think Mars is a nice name that's underutilized? And patent pending, don't steal my name. Maybe I'm just like George Costanza with his like, call him question mark or whatever it was. I can't remember.
No, it was 7.
Yeah, 7. But I do like the idea of Mars. I think it's a really alluring, mysterious name. And I wanted to call my daughter Venus, but I'm not in the 70s. But don't you were in the 70s and you called some hippie chick Venus?
What about Uranus? Any patent on that?
That's my 3rd kid. Doesn't that tell you everything of just like, you were an accident?
And it was not the anus, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's why you call them that, because they're a drip child. Oh.
Miss Love, do you have any names for your kids?
I'm still raging. I can't think.
What? I'm
Yes.
kidding. Fuck, Miss Love. It was a joke. We all know the circumstances, and we don't blame you.
You don't know who I am these days. You know who I'm turning into? These days, if someone looks at me cockeyed, I want to punch their heads in. It's something. I've changed. I'm telling you, I have changed.
Well, so
I'm going to eliminate. I'm going to eliminate everyone.
The dog could have said that too, but never got the opportunity.
Damn, urge to kill rising, but not enough for him to move off of his bed.
I'm kidding, dude. I'm kidding.
I'm trying to. The only death reference I could say would be a little. also a bridge too far in
Do it,
regards
do
to
it.
you.
You,
No,
you're allowed.
no,
Do it, do it.
I'm not saying anything. It would be like you've got a bridge too far, but it's not a doubling down game. That's not this game.
All right. I was kidding. I was kidding.
I know.
Obviously.
Yeah. There's,
All right. Are you still
there's
pissed?
no dead. There's been no risk of dead animals in your house, is there?
Oh yeah, my cat died.
Yeah, well, cats are
Not really
cats
an
aren't as
animal,
cool
is
as
it?
dogs.
Yeah, but it was really old and sick. Anyways,
I did like that it was named after a summer hit dance. Nay nay.
no, that wasn't her name.
Oh, what was it?
Nini.
I think the name Ninu is cuter.
Actually, that was her actual name. I think on her birth certificate it was Nino.
Yeah, I like that name better.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's a little kid show on ABC that lasts 5 minutes.
Shit. Jordan, get Miss Love to snap out of this angry mode.
I can't step out of it. I
No,
can't.
there's nothing you can do about that. He's just going to
I'm
be there
I'm
glowering,
cold
saying,
for the rest of the
"You've
pod.
been very rude to me."
I will be I'm just gonna just
Wait, I know the fix.
I'd name my kid fuck. Look, I like Charlie
You're
for
going
a
to call
girl.
it Kill Ali.
Akil Ali. I'd call it
Dan Wilson.
Charlie. I'd call it. I like Charlie for a girl a lot. I don't know, guy.
Fuck, you're such a hipster.
Why? Charlie is a boy's name. Why can't we just stick to what's the rule?
You can't talk about names. Your name's weirder than Charlie, and
Hey,
so is
Miss
mine
Love.
for that matter.
Yeah,
So is mine.
Again, it's big coming from you.
Yeah. So what? I can call it what it is. Your
Yeah,
name's
but why do you
retarded,
like
and
Charlie
so is mine.
though? I suppose I can't talk because I wanted to call my girl Pascal, but everyone was saying that's a boy's name. But I was like, yeah, but it's a French boy's name. That's
What?
more girly than an Anglo girl's name.
What the fuck is Pascal? What is that?
I don't know. I think it might be a chain of
Pastel.
red stores, but yeah.
No, I like it. I just like it, and I feel like that kind of name. Every girl I've met that's called Charlie is like a well-adjusted, kind of like I don't know, just like I don't know. I just like it, and for a guy, I don't know. It doesn't for a guy who gives a shit. Like I don't fucking know. Rex.
Actually, if I have a third kid and they are a boy, I'd call them Skip. Mars and Skip.
Skip is Skip's pretty good. That's an old man's name though.
Yeah, you grow into it.
True. That's not bad.
All right.
You don't have any girls' names. Man, imagine just calling them girl.
Fuck. That would be very, very cruel.
Miss Love, I'm kind of disappointed. You won't give her a Croatian name?
No, I mean,
Bibich
No,
is
you know
a very
what?
nice romantic
no,
name.
no. I would do like this is ridiculous because there's a in Croatia the name Tomislav is a lot more popular than the name Mislav, and everyone for short calls them Tom. It's insane that my parents didn't give me that name, but I consider doing him a Croatian name like Tomislav because it's Tom. So if there's like an Anglo middle ground, maybe Tom.
No, Tom doesn't
that's it.
suit your personality, miss.
Well,
They have a right to call you Miss Love. That is the most fitting name for you on earth.
Oh man,
It sounds like someone who's half a bed.
I mean, I disagree. I wouldn't wish my name on anyone, but yeah. So I'd maybe
Actually, you know what? It fits Ali as well. Ali fits Ali.
That's like such a isn't that like 7 out of like 9 out of 10 people in the Middle East call that?
Probably, yeah.
It's popular.
It's really common, yeah.
But But yeah, I wouldn't go like some fucking hectic Croatian name. It's a curse. Like fuck that shit. I don't understand that. Why move to like fine, you can preserve your fucking culture and everything, but like why give your kid a name so that every time they meet someone they go, huh? That's what they meet. Going, what?
But it's cool because it's different.
Don't you think if you called your daughter Bianca, you are assuring that she's going to be hot?
Yes, I was thinking just that. Biancas are hot.
Don't know.
No?
I don't know.
And well endowed. Usually.
What about Scout?
That's too
Not
much.
well endowed.
No,
Scout.
definitely not. So maybe in different areas, well endowed.
Scout.
Someone just commented saying Ali was really keen on Bianca. That is true. There was a Bianca that I was very keen on.
Well, I do like actually calling them Bianca more than Bianca. The wankier, the better.
The way it get a better.
I mean, yeah, Mars is like rich guy name. Like that's fucking.
It is. That's what I like about it as well. It's a status symbol. Calling your
is.
kid Mars means that you own a tennis court.
Do you
Yeah,
know
exactly.
any Mars? Like, I suppose I know Bruno Mars. Other than that, I can't think of anyone.
No, actually, two did meet one on a shoot the other day. And he was a small gay hairdresser. And let's be honest, that probably is going to be my son. A small Asian gay hairdresser.
All right, look, boys, we're out of time. Should we continue and do one more segment, which was about someone asked me to do China vis-a-vis Afghanistan, or should we just call it a night?
Up
I'm
late.
easy.
If you want to listen to that, you pay for it.
What you want to do up late, do you?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do that.
All right, well, thanks for joining us tonight. We will see you guys next week. Sign up to the Up Late on FriendlyJordies Podcast Patreon if you want to hear Jordan take a shit.
Yes, and if you want some free tea, tune into the H3H3 podcast and his beef with Trisha Paytas.
Oh my god, they don't need to be plugged.
I don't know why I'm so into it.
No, I like it.
It's just because she's
fan.
got a
I'm a fan.
funny looking face. That's it.
I actually kind of like that pod now. It's fucked. I don't believe I'm saying it, but I don't hate it. God
How the
help me.
fuck are you listening to that podcast?
I'm not. It's just that every time I hear it, I'm like, yeah, I'd give it a go, and I just kind of never do. But I don't hate it.
All right, well, you heard it here, folks. We don't hate H3. Actually, that's not true. I hate it. But anyways, see you guys
And
next
here's
week.
the big question as well that we'll be answering on the Up Late podcast. Would Ali tap Trisha Paytas? Because I'm guessing he would. No, we're finding out up late. Don't
I
answer.
think my girlfriend is listening to this, but the answer is yes, I would. All right, see you guys next week.
Okay,
Bye.
bye guys. Jesus Christ, Ali.
I'm forever, baby, don't say